right, I will call to order the Transportation Committee meeting of May 18th, 2021. The physical quorum of the members is not present. However, pursuant to Section 70 of the Open Meetings Act, members are permitted to attend remotely. As we have one member of the committee, our Chief Executive Officer, and our Chief Legal Counsel present, board members may participate without being physically present in compliance with the established provisions. That being said, I'd like a roll call, please.
Kaplan.
Here.
Desart.
Here.
Krajewski. Ozog.
Here.
Kachalski.
Here.
Zay.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. We have no public comment. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of Tuesday, May 4th, 2021?
So moved to start. Second.
I got a motion by the start, a second by Chapman. Any alterations, changes, or corrections? A roll call vote, please.
Kaplan.
Aye.
Desart.
Aye.
Ozog.
Aye.
Kachalski.
Aye.
Zay.
Aye.
Okay, that passes. Next, we're on the consent agenda. I would like a motion to combine consent agenda items A, B, C, and D.
So moved.
I have a motion by
Second.
Chapman, second by Ozog. Any question, Jim Zay, question?
Yeah, just question. We only have 5 members present, so 3 are there. You would have a physical quorum present at the meeting. You wouldn't have to do roll call and everything.
Are you sure? I thought we had, it was the total. I think the state's attorney said otherwise, so I'm going to follow her advice. Not that you didn't go to law school, it would make a great lawyer, but we're going to do it, we'll just do it that way. So we'll be done in 10 minutes anyway, Jim.
Okay.
Roll call on that motion to combine.
Kaplan.
Aye.
Desart.
Aye.
Ozog.
Aye.
Kachalski.
Aye.
Zay.
Aye.
All right, that passes. Now I'd like a motion to approve consent 5A to Salco Limited, 5B, K Plus, 5C, 21M Group, and 5D Material Solutions, and they're all decrease and closeout.
So moved. Second,
I have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Roll call, please.
Kaplan.
Aye.
Desart.
Aye.
Ozog.
Aye.
Kachalski.
Aye.
Zay.
Aye.
All right, that passes. Next, we're on agenda item 6 is procurement requisitions. I'd like a motion to approve 2021-48, a contract to Sid Tool Company, DBA MSC Industrial Supply Company to furnish and deliver health and safety supplies as needed, not to exceed $25,000.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Roll call, please.
Ozog.
Aye.
Kachalski.
Aye.
Zay.
Aye.
Kaplan.
Aye.
Desart.
Aye.
All right, that passes. Next, I'd like a motion to approve DTP 11821, a contract to H.W. Lochner, Inc. for professional construction engineering services along Grand Avenue for a contract not to exceed $658,972.45.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions? Roll call.
Kaplan.
Aye.
Desart.
Aye.
Ozog.
Aye.
Kachalski.
Aye.
Zay.
Aye.
All right, that passes. Next, I'd like a motion to approve DTP 115-21, a contract to Max Body Shop, Inc. for auto body parts as needed for a contract not to exceed $85,000.
So moved to start. Second.
I got a motion and a second. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Desart.
Aye.
Ozog.
Aye.
Kachalski.
Aye.
Zay.
Aye.
Kaplan.
Aye.
All right, that passes. Next, I'd like a motion to approve 2021-49, a contract to Advanced Disposal for refuse and recycling disposal for a contract not to exceed $20,000.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? Roll call.
Kaplan.
Aye.
Desart.
Aye.
Ozog.
Aye.
Kachalski.
Aye.
Zay.
Aye.
That passes. Next, we're on awarding resolution. I'd like a motion to approve DTR 280-21, an awarding resolution to H&H Electric Company for LED traffic signal head replacement at various locations for a cost of $198,065.12.
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? Roll call.
Ozog.
Aye.
Kachalski.
Aye.
Zay.
Aye.
Kaplan.
Aye.
Desart.
Aye.
All right, that passes. Next, I'd like a motion to approve DTR 281-21, an awarding resolution to Shorter Asphalt Services, Inc. for Bloomingdale Road to Geneva Road intersection improvements for a county cost of $685,153.28.
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? Roll call.
Ozark,
Aye.
Petrowski,
Aye.
Zay,
Aye.
Chaplin,
Aye.
Desart,
Aye.
That passes. C is being pulled. It is duplicative of 7A, so that will be pulled. That takes us to 8A, which is general resolutions. Motion to approve DTR 27921 and a resolution for additional appropriation for the local gas tax funding accounting, and it's total of $748,600.
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? Roll call.
Ozark,
Aye.
Petrowski,
Aye.
Zay,
Aye.
Chaplin,
Aye.
Desart,
Aye.
That passes. Next is item 9, amending resolutions. May I have a motion to approve amendment to DTR 150A21 issued to Copeland Avenue Construction for the 2021 sidewalk improvement program for a Scrivener's error.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Ozark,
Aye.
Petrowski,
Aye.
Zay,
Aye.
Chaplin,
Aye.
Desart,
Aye.
That passes. And finally, motion to approve DTR 46C20, amendment to a resolution for the re-execution of the local public agency agreement between the County of DuPage and Illinois Department of Transportation for improvements along 31st Street with no change in county costs.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions? Roll call.
Chaplin,
Aye.
Desart,
Aye.
Ozark,
Aye.
Petrowski,
Aye.
Zay,
Aye.
All right, that is approved. Next is item 10, which is an action item with long-range transportation plan, fiscal constraint update. Chris, I'm sorry, John, you want to go with this?
Yeah, when did you have the presentation up? Thanks. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Appreciate your time letting us have a few minutes today. So this committee acts as a steering committee for the long-range transportation plan. We've brought a number of different things related to the LRTP through the committee before. So some of you might remember or recall that we brought a similar package to you in September of 2019. Next slide, Wendy. And this set of projections that we put out for revenues came out on the heels of the Rebuild Illinois State Capital Program, which was done in kind of middle of 2019. And it also anticipated the retirement of the 2001 bond debt service in 2021. So this package for the MFT and local gas tax, it included the MFT going from 19 cents per gallon to 38 cents per gallon, with the new 19-cent amount being treated separately or distinctly from the existing 19 cents. So the Transportation Renewal Fund, which is that new 19-cent number, provides the county approximately 67 to 70% of the additional 19 cent per gallon and its index. And that's included in this particular, the 2019 numbers. At the time, the state was also anticipating issuing infrastructure bonds. It was assumed that that amount would be about $33 million spread over 2021 through 2025. In a minute, I'll tell you that that's kind of changed. This particular package also included the continuation of the local gas tax at 4 cents per gallon, impact fees, permit fees, federal and state grants at about $5 million per year, and no RTA sales tax allocation was assumed with this particular set of forecasts. So what it looked like was a pretty encouraging outlook for the first 7 years of the plan. But capital funding was clearly stressed, towards the end of the 20-year program, as you can see in the diagram there. So one of the things to note about these diagrams, you'll see another one for the 2021 amendment, is that we're assuming operating expenses and capital maintenance numbers come out first. Those are our obligations, and so in orange and green, those are our obligatory expenditures, ensuring that our system is going to have a state of good repair over the life of the program. But what's in blue is the capital project amounts, and that's what we consider to be a kind of a constrained number. So whatever is left over is what we can use for capital projects. Next slide, please. So this is a comparison chart here of between 2019 and 2021. surprising, obviously comes COVID in 2020. Travel and fuel consumption was affected, but not as severely disrupted as we might have imagined. Certainly not as much as in comparison to our service board, transit fare box service providers. And so 2020 saw a decline in local gas tax and MFT of around 20%. Commercial vehicle fuel receipts helped stem that decline. And so, that I think that's what helped us stay at about a 20% decrease. So in November of 2020, as you might recall, the county amended the county MFT ordinance, raising local gas taxes by 4 cents per gallon. So this has caused us to return to the committee here to amend our 2019 projections. And in this chart, you'll note that only a few factors have changed in our assumptions. The increased local gas tax component, going from 4 cents per gallon to 8 cents per gallon, plus indexing. State MFT bonds, as I was mentioning earlier, is not $33 million over 5 years. It'll be about $35.4 million over 3 years, beginning this year. COVID will affect the gas tax receipts this year and next, and we're projecting a full recovery and bounce back by 2023. Some might debate that, but so far we've seen certainly a rise in vehicular traffic this year that looks kind of approximate to what we saw in 2018, 2019. So hopeful, keep our fingers crossed. But we've also added an assumption that work from home is going to escalate over the course of the next 20 years. And so there's some debate about how quickly that will happen. It might actually happen sooner than later based on COVID, but we think it's a fair conservative assumption that there's going to be some additional work from home opportunities over the next 20 years. Next slide, please. Thank you. So this is the new forecast for 2021 to 2040, and as you can see, the operating expenses and capital maintenance still show up as our obligatory expenditures on the bottom, but now with the local gas tax, the difference is roughly a little bit over $400 million that we would accrue through the local gas tax increase. But even with this, we're treating this as a kind of a maximum number. We understand and realize that over the course of the 20 years, there's going to be a likely erosion of road fuel and local gas taxes due to electrification of vehicles, fleet fuel efficiency, and there's such an incredible new amount of different types of fueling options for vehicles that those options may cause us some loss or erosion of local gas tax revenues also. The rate at which a lot of the electrification and fleet fuel efficiency is going to happen is really up to debate. And the experts, vary widely in their opinions. So we're going to come back to the committee rather frequently, I think, over the next 10, 15 years, to advise you as what we're seeing and update this chart. And I think we'll be doing this, this monitoring, year by year as we gather that information. So next step for the LRTP, we'd appreciate your thoughts, comments, and support for the revised projections here. I know we've had a short time to look it over, but any additional thoughts you have are welcome. The numbers we're sharing today will set marks for the DOT in terms of what capital projects we can reasonably allocate our resources to over the next 20 years. And these marks are what we're calling the program constraints. So we will, in June, we'll come back to the committee and tell you what we think will be the list of constrained projects that we'll be able to allocate money and resources to. And that will kind of form the essence of what the long-range transportation plan is. So you'll have the funding picture and you also have the expenditure picture. by June, and then hopefully we'll, with your permission to go forward, we'll set a date for a public meeting and have a public meeting where we share the program and the funding constraints and produce a long-range plan draft. And then we'll come back again in August and September for approval of the LRTP. So that's kind of our plan for this upcoming year. We know that you'll be a part of it and encourage you to be so.
Thank you, John. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I do, Chairman.
Go ahead, Dawn.
All right, thank you. Cars and trucks fueled with by electricity cause wear and tear on the roadways just as much as gasoline fueled cars and trucks. Any creative ideas on how to capture some of the revenue from the electric vehicles?
You are done from number 12.
So we've always kind of assumed that we're going to go through the replacement of revenue at some point. We just don't know what that is, whether it's a vehicle mile tax or some other type of revenue source. It's guaranteed that it's never going to be an equal replacement because of the differences in the way it's measured. But one of the strains on that particular theory is that if you happen to have a lot of people who are electrifying their delivery fleets, for example, they may object to that law, or they may have to be treated a little differently than the average consumer. So we'll watch that.
Yeah, I can tell you, Dawn, as part of Rebuild Illinois, while the gas tax doubled for those of us that fill up with fuel, it did include increase in vehicle registration fees for the electric fleet. I know it was a considerably higher number originally proposed. I think they might have settled on about $250 a year. Right. Now you got to remember, right now in the state of Illinois, what people don't realize is that vehicle registration fees do not come back to local agencies. Okay, the only thing that comes to local agencies are the privilege to drive on roads, which is a motor fuel tax, not the privilege to own a car, which is the license, the title, etc. So while that was a step in the right direction, I think it was an important first step into the electrification of our fleets, and that we recognize that they do contribute to congestion and safety issues on our roads, that they ought to pay a share. But right now that share is $250, I think, annual registration fee for those vehicles.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Question for both of you. Do we know of any national examples? I noticed, for instance, the Myers on Gary Road has just recently put in a station of about 7 or 8 electric charging centers. Do we know of any cases of where somehow there's a tax similar to a gas pump? Is there anything afoot nationwide within the United States to somehow tax that delivery? I know you really can't do it in somebody's garage, but in terms of, considering those to be similar to a gas station, do we have anything that we know of?
I do
recapture that revenue?
not know. I have
Maybe I can't.
one of the issues that's going on is that they're trying to figure out where that electric infrastructure is going to happen. They're really trying to figure out what the needs are. The delivery fleets and the commercial fleets, we're talking about that yesterday, and it's a big issue for them. Really, to be able to expand their range, they have to have a network of delivery.
It can't just be on site. It has to be
Right.
beyond,
Right.
in their service delivery area.
Right.
So,
But I can certainly look and see
Yeah.
what people are saying. And
is there any talk of
Provide an answer.
converting gas stations? That's a whole industry in terms of who owns
That
them and
makes
what's
sense.
happening.
Right.
And it will be happening.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's great.
Rebates were given out.
Exactly. So
And I have a question. Is the public meeting going to be in our auditorium here, or is it going to be some other location?
It's likely going to be virtual until that provides us an opportunity to kind of expand our reach, to the public, and also people the flexibility of coming whenever they want. So
That makes sense.
we talked a little bit about, how that will be done. And I think that's the way we're going to proceed.
And then the video would be available too.
Yeah, correct.
So
We can all promote it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, is there any other questions, John? Thank you very much. Very informative, nice thing. This is an action item, so I'd like a motion to approve the long-range transportation plan fiscal constraint update.
So moved.
So just second to start.
Okay, I got a motion and a second. Any questions? A roll call, please?
Chaplin.
Aye.
To start.
Aye.
Ozark.
Aye.
Chelsea.
Aye.
Zay.
Aye.
All right, that passes. Now we're on item 11. Any reports from our state's attorney?
This time, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Anything under old business there, boss?
No, sir.
Anything under new business?
No, sir.
I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Moved in a second. Roll call.
Chaplin.
Aye.
Ozark.
Aye.
Ozark.
Aye.
Chelsea.
Aye.
Zay.
Aye.
All right, we stand adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
You know those little